Hey, this is Rod, and I'm making a weekly summary of a recap, let's call it, for ANSI 106, review of week 1. I know this is a little tardy, but man, has it been busy. So I'm going to do this weekly, and I just want to go through an email I sent. And one thing I want to say right away, when I said my computer has a mind of its own today, when I was sending out some emails, a few people that had added the course recently weren't getting my emails, and I thought it was my computer. Here it is, ends up being a bug in Purdue's program, and I didn't get it till like 3 days into the semester. It says, hey, there's a bug on the program when people drop an ad. The listserv does not update. So people that were adding after I made the original listserv maybe a month ago, they weren't, being sent an email. So anyway, I sent this email out, and I just want to say a few things about our room. It's, Crichton 1011. But we have a big span. It actually says 1:30 to 4:30 here, and it's actually 1 to 4:30. Now you might say, I thought the class was 2:30 to 3:20. You're officially right. That's what it says on your schedule. I'm just saying, hi, I'm going to be in that room for that time. I have a class in the morning there, and then I've happened to be able to reserve it in between my two classes on Monday and Wednesday. So feel free to come anytime you want. You don't have to talk to me. You can come in and take a nap, put your head down, take a nap. You can eat lunch. You can chit-chat, study for another course, or you can ask me questions. Yeah, doesn't really matter. But anyway, so that was the first week. Some people thought, the class was more than the 50 minutes on your schedule. No, it's not. So be aware of that. Just want to say that my website is rodulrich.com. We'll find out if you click on courses, you'll get to the syllabus. But I did attach a copy of the syllabus to that email I sent. But now I know that some of you did not get that email since the listserv that was being programmed by Purdue had a flaw in it. They call it a bug, and it wasn't working right. Yes, now I'd like to explain the syllabus, at least a little bit. Here's the syllabus. I emailed it to you, but not everybody got the email because of the bug in the Purdue program. The syllabus is on our website. So the website, let me get right down to that here, is rodulrich.com. That's up, 99% of the time. If it doesn't work, try rodulrich2.com, and you might want to try this other one if those two aren't working. And in fact, you should probably, with your phone, take a picture of this area at least, so you'll always have my websites. I have email addresses that work all over the place. And please be aware, Fridays are on your own. You can watch the videos on Fridays, but it's termed asynchronous, so you can do them wherever, whenever. Show and tell and learn. This is about how you can talk about something about some aspect of pet ownership / pet biology. And so, it's a fun class. So then when you go to my website, you see this thing. This is what I want to show you. This image may not have the same pictures there. Those pictures change, but this top portion will always stay the same. So you're going to click on courses if you want to get to our material for biology of companion animals. I should add quizzes and crossword puzzles. Help you learn the material. You can click on those. You can look at dog food recalls. Sometimes there might be some assignments that are for you on Brightspace, and that would be here. So just so you know that. And then when you do, maybe I should just keep this here. And when you do click on the courses, that's here, then you need to look for your course name. In this case, it would be Biology of Companion Animals, and then you click on the course name. In the spring, I teach 2 different courses, and in the fall, 3 different courses. So be aware of that. On the first day of class, we did this diagnostic assessment, which I'll enlarge up here. Nobody put their name on it. It's a way for an instructor to pick your brain, but it's of no consequence to you. So I had things like define biology, toxicology, cats are termed obligate carnivores, explain that, can dogs detect the smell of cancer, all this kind of stuff. By the end of the semester, you should probably be able to answer all of those. And at the bottom, I had this statement on the other side of the sheet, write something down about carbon monoxide. And it's not of our critical course material in biology of companion animals, but recently there's been a number of deaths in homes because of carbon monoxide. And I'm thinking that if everybody was a little bit more aware of what carbon monoxide is, we could do a better job of saving some lives. And I did state, about a month ago, maybe it's a little more now, in my hometown of Moorhead, Minnesota, which is up in the northern half of Minnesota, right over by Fargo, North Dakota, 7 family members died in one house on one weekend. It looks like they all went to bed, and nobody was alive by the next morning. And a tear forms in my eyes for that. So, crazy. Okay, now I want to explain the image I brought to class on the first day of class, and then I brought it also on that Wednesday, that would be the 12th of January. I had this picture. It was on a canvas print, and I put it up by one of the whiteboards. And I said, what is this? So now I want to explain what this is. And this is a turgid ovine uterus. Turgid is a word that means firm to the touch. Maybe you could say swollen. And this thing looks swollen, doesn't it? Hard to the touch, or I should say maybe firm. It's hard to have, when you have a tissue, it's hard to say hard like a brick, but it's firm. Ovine means sheep, and uterus, is the incubator for embryos, if there is mating and fertilization and so forth, blah, blah, blah. So this is a turgid ovine uterus. And let me get out the antonym thing that I want to get here. Okay, here we go. Turgid, of course, means firm to the touch. And then the antonym is flaccid. That means soft, not firm, I guess. And that was the something to learn about the first week of class. Although sheep are not in our companion animals, the point is, this is an image challenge, basically. Can you look at an image and guess what it is? There's the hand of the surgeon, surgical drapes with the clips, holding the surgical drapes. This happens to be a sheep, which is in dorsal recumbency. Head is up here, but it's on its back, and then here's the tail over here. And then this would be the right side of the sheep. This would be the left. So you would call this the right uterine horn, and this is the left uterine horn. Thank you. Yeah, now I'd like to mention something that I did in class the first day, maybe even the second day of class. Is talk about how your brain stores knowledge, and a lot of times it's called knowledge domains. These are areas in your brain, let's say it that way, that contain specific information about specific topics. So here it is. I'll point this out. This domain is something about your subject matter domain. Let's say it's about the blood, which we're studying, the first thing we study about, blood, and everything about blood. Well, then there's also maybe other things that intersect with that idea. And this drawing is not something that I drew, but just think of it as other topics that might intersect with blood. And then, of course, there's this whole knowledge. Let's say this is all about animal biology. So, but within animal biology, you have an area that stores everything about blood. And a lot of times that storage is referred to as statements of knowledge, statements of fact, I should maybe say. Okay, let's get rid of this thing. So you should practice making statements of fact. And statements of fact can be short little statements, maybe even sometimes called a proposition. A proposition is a statement that people can examine in order to decide whether it's true, and you could add or false. So I'm going to show you some of those statements of fact. And here, and this is something I got off the internet. Okay, so one statement. Your heart pumps blood through the body. Okay, that can be judged to be true or false. Ends up being true, right? The leaves of growing plants are usually green. Okay, notice usually. Maybe there are some plants that aren't green, but chlorophyll is green, and so, yeah. Some people keep dogs as pets. That's true. Some people keep cats as pets. Some people keep goats as pets. Some people keep snakes as pets. Some people keep bearded dragons as pets. All those are little statements of fact that can be judged to be true or false. Some people keep giraffes as pets. Well, that's harder to say true, but there's probably a few people in the world that, yes, it's true, but in most cases, it's not true. Then we have 1 liter water weighs 1 kilogram, and that is true, right? So there are all these things that are statements of fact. And I just want to make a few more examples, or bring a few more examples up on the screen as long as I have them. And so these are all statements of fact that can be judged to be true and false. Your heart pumps blood. Sorry, my mouse is not working right. Here it is. Heart pumps blood through your body and the dog's body. Leaves are green. Use their legs to walk. Some people have pets. Yes, dogs as pets. 50 states. Yep. Water always comes from the sky. Now, that's very interesting because, I don't know, what if you have a well? So these are just examples that people have had. King John of England signed the Magna Carta in 1215. That sounds right, but my history is terrible. So I just wanted to end this little part with that. Okay, now I want to do some on-screen typing, and I want to say that, and I'm making some statements of fact from our lessons, our reading and our videos. Let's see how this shows up. Yeah, red blood cells are anuclear in dogs. Okay, so let's do that. I guess I can just leave that thing like that. Red blood cells are anuclear in dogs. You could also make a statement, red blood cells are anuclear in cats, you name the mammal and you could replace that word dogs in there. So red blood cells are anuclear in mammals. And as a comparison, and in class, I did say chickens have a nucleus, in their red blood cells. Okay, so bird blood has a nucleus in their red blood cells. Now I'm looking at one of the reading that talks about, let me see, it's called Introduction to Blood Disorders in Dogs. I think it's the second link here. Let's see, I'm going to try something I've never done before. No, that's not going to work. Okay, I was trying to copy paste from one screen to another. That's not working. But it says blood cells develop in the bone marrow. Okay, so let's see if can I drag that out. Yeah, make that a little bit better. Okay, so blood cells develop in the bone marrow. So now I'm just reading this and writing it down, and notice how I'm talking. Although I'm recording it for you, you should be doing this too when you study. Don't study in silence. So the second reading click, which I said was Introduction to Blood Disorders in Dogs, has a lot of meat in there. And man, they even have a clickable thing that says suffixes used in names of blood disorders. I'm going to click on that. And it didn't really go to the right place, which is fine. Oh, maybe they did. No, it didn't. That's fine. Usually what you want to do is when you click on my link on my web page, you don't want to go on a lot of other clickings because you'll get lost. Okay. So let's see. Let me do the next reading, the third reading, which is blood 3. Let me see if I can it says red blood cells of dogs. And you know red blood cells are also called erythrocytes, and that's what it is there. So I'll say red blood cells, I think you can see this when I'm typing it, are also termed erythrocytes. Okay? Y-T-H-R-O, C-Y-T-E-S. And erythrocytes. Okay? So red blood cells are also called erythrocytes. So you can make all these statements. If you watch the video number 2, it talks about how you could put all this stuff on different pages. And we can talk about that later. So I'm going to wrap up here because I've got to make up a wrap up for week 2. I know I'm running behind, but my program that I've been using is acting funny, and I think it's trying to save to the cloud, and I didn't realize that. So the next thing I'll do is wrap up a week 2, which was just one day.